I guess we forgot to ask you last. Has everybody been healthy the whole fall camp? I know sometimes, last year I don't want to bring up injuries, but since you got a full, has everybody been gone the whole time?
We have a few injuries that are going to be season ending, like, red shirts. Erica Moon is out for the year. She had knee surgery, and so is Jada Malone. She's out for the year. The rest of them are because of betting now and wagering. Like, I'm going to be a whole lot more closed mouth about who's available and who's not. We've had a lot of serious warnings and conversations from the top down about just being careful about what we speak about from an availability standpoint. But the two that are going to be out for the year, I can tell you, are Jada Malone and Erica Moon. She had a meniscus, and then when they went in there and looked at it, it just was a little bit more complicated and more complex than we thought at first. And so it's a little bit of one of those longer recoveries.
So I guess that's also the good, you can have enough depth where you can talk about injuries and you don't have to say like, well, we're going to do this, do that.
Correct. Yep.
How excited are you about Thursday night and getting your girls out there and, playing another team and just seeing exactly where you're at?
Good to see you. Really excited about Thursday, actually. We are ready to play someone else. We've obviously had a chance to have some close scrimmages and practice against our guys every day, but we're ready to test ourselves and what we know. And, I came to the men's game last night, and what an amazing crowd. The students, 12th man, our community is just great. And so just really excited and looking forward to that same turnout and really just to see our players and how they come out and approach, the season.
Joni was talking about how your demeanor on the sideline and in practice has changed from year one to year two. So just curious, in your own words, how would you describe that change now entering your second season?
If I know Joni pretty well, probably exactly what she said. We told all of our returners last year, anything you know about us as coaches in terms of how we were on the court last year and practicing in games, erase from your mind. Because last year we met you where you were. And that's, not a good, bad thing or indifferent, but we had a team that wasn't experienced, that didn't have a lot of playing time. And so we did a whole lot of cheering for things that this year we shouldn't be cheering about. It's just the standard. We did a whole lot of stopping and explaining and, had a lot of patience in some areas that this year we don't. And so what we told all of them last year was we met you where you were last year because of where you were in terms of a lack of experience. But this year, the standard is the standard, and that's how we're going to coach each and every one of you. So don't make any assumptions about you knowing who we are as coaches on the floor, because it's not what you think it is. And that's how it's been. She probably said, am a little spicier.
Exactly.
She tells me that all. You're spicy. I like it. So it's just the standard is the standard, and that's how we're coaching them. Still have a ton of fun, still love on them well, but we coach them really hard, and things that were okay last year are just not okay right now.
What do you think you can learn about the team through, a game that counts compared to some of the close scrimmages? I'm not sure if in those you can kind of try out some situations, see how it goes, with risk mitigation, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think number one, it's about setting the tone. And we try to play those scrimmages that way in terms of we want to set the tone defensively for how we're going to be, offensively for how we do things. The difference is we do tinker with lineups a lot. It's a lot of equal opportunity in those scrimmages because we want to give everybody a chance to put their full skill set on display. It won't be that way tomorrow night. We've had enough practices and enough scrimmages now where we have a pretty good idea of what that rotation looks like. Fortunately, that will be a lot of people. Everybody's worked really hard. But, we talk about it's fair, but it's not the same. And I want to see how they respond with the crowd, with a game that now we know we can't just say, okay, throw it out of the window. It was a scrimmage. It starts on Thursday, and just excited to get it going. So just a different approach in terms of what our expectation is.
I know you had some experience at the international level with some, the U19 team as assistant, senior team as assistant, but I guess this past summer, what that experience as the head coach and just the international game in general, how does that kind of help you, work some different coaching muscles, I guess, so to speak, and kind of, develop your coaching style and your repertoire?
It's obviously a great opportunity anytime you get a chance to represent USA and coach. I was the 18 and under head coach last year and then to follow that up by being the 19 under head coach this year. It just gives you a chance to see the global game of women's basketball and how it's growing. There's a ton of really, really talented international players that play the game, and you get to see them. You know, Royce has a list of international players at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and so it allows you to know some of their mannerisms, their habits, their skill set is off the charts. So you take and you steal and you tinker and you watch and you follow and you recruit, you know, you do all those things. And so I'm just fortunate to be able to see the game grow and to see it grow globally and take what I like and, you know, immerse it into what it is we're doing, because a lot of our players are going to play overseas. A lot of our players are going to play in the WNBA. And so when we can make sure that they are able to not only guard that, but play in those elements, environments by adding some of those things in our offense is really good.
I was listening to you talk on radio this morning in regards to tough, and I heard you say that this team is tougher physically than last year, but not to the level that you expect. I'm curious, how can that change, if at all, over the season, and what aspects do you feel your team's lacking?
I think that hopefully it changes as we win games. We don't know how to win. We've never won. I talked about that last week in here a little bit. And so part of being tough is winning games. And even with the circumstances of last year, there were some games that we just let people off the hook because we didn't know how to close them out. That's toughness. And so that's the tough that we're talking about. We are a lot tougher than we've been in the past. With that being said, I want them to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And they are to a certain point, but not to the level that we need to be. And I think at this point, the only thing that will get us over that hump is to do what we're going to do Thursday. Play games, be in tough environments, go on the road, be in tough environments, and learn how to figure some things out in chaos.
Early on, is it more just about how your team executes and how they respond to you versus the other team and scouting them and defending them?
We scout every team we play, and our scout Thursday will look like our scout Sunday, will look like our scout the next week, and the next week we have the same prep all year long. We are one of those teams who respect everybody that we play, so we're going to spend a lot of time on the scouting piece. With that being said, we've got to be able to do our stuff, right? We've got to stick to our principles offensively and defensively. And so some of those things will be mainstays that you're going to always see from us, no matter who we're playing. But no, we spend a ton of time scouting. It's important. And we want them to be comfortable in that and to rely on that, because when it is time to scout a big opponent, it shouldn't be treated any differently than anybody else we play, in my opinion.
Your opinion's all that matters in here.
Joni said, you know, like you said, a little spicy. How would you evaluate her as a coach? Y'all did that little dance on Instagram. How'd you evaluate your performance and her coach?
You know what? She taught me that about 15 minutes before we did it. So I would say that she's an excellent coach. She had a lot of patience with me. She sent it to me, number one, like 3 days before, and I didn't even take a look at it. I just had a lot going on. So she was prepared. She put me, the player, in that situation in the right position. And then when I showed up unprepared, she was patient and taught me the dance, and we ran through it a couple times and then we executed it. So she was good.
Very good.
Did it?
Is it gonna be your victory dance? Is that what we're gonna see?
No. You know, they can get me to do that once or two times a year for the game. That's about it.
Thanks, Joni.
Thank y'all.
Coach.